This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1, playing Warzone, we have Gucci Lucci. And player 2, playing Karax, we have Grown. So, let's have a look at the masteries while the players get set up. Warzone has pretty much the perfect splits here, or at least the most optimized splits for their mastery. So we have the black hole duration, we have the time stop speed increase, and then we have a 22-8 split into the chrono boost and the Spear of Adun energy. This amount of energy is, I believe there is a probe over there that seems to get picked off, but yeah, the Spear of Adun energy allows the Warzone player to be able to drop their Dark Templars as soon as it is off cooldown. I think what Warzone wants to do here is they want to try and steal one of the gases. I'm going to show you this if they are able to pull it off. Navigating through this area is a little bit risky. There is a Zergling over there and there's a Stalker over there that can end up aggroing you, and that causes a problem. You can see that Stalker that's up there, so that probe is also a bit of a write-off. On the other hand, we will have a look at Karax's masteries while the Warzone player gets set up. We have basically just a random split here into all of the masteries. So again, not really a very optimized split, and you can see here that we already have a supply blocked Karax player with 5 probes that is being queued up, and even despite the supply block, Karax decides to put down an assimilator instead of a pylon. That is again somewhat interesting. I think this probe might have actually been able to get it. Yeah, so he managed to sneak through, and the thing I was talking about here is you can actually steal one of these gases. So this gas over here is just at the right distance that if you have orbital assimilators, you can actually take that gas, and none of the Amon's units will aggro you. So this will work with Warzone, and this also works with Nova. And I don't think I have missed any other commanders, but if they have orbital assimilators, if they have automated assimilators, you can actually steal that gas and get some free gas at the start of the game. You can see here now, the first attack wave has spawned, and the enemy composition is the Vanguard of Ire. So I believe this is the classic. Is this the classic Protoss ground? I think that is it. The Reavers in this composition, and now one of the probes gets picked off, and Karax's pylon also gets picked off, and there is a very interesting solar lance over there that is being used to try and target one of those zealots, and still that zealot has not been moving, and that solar lance ends up missing. So finally Warzone decides to put the time stop, but Warzone's actually going out and taking out this Void Sliver, and now given that the zealot is not even attacking, Karax is able to actually take out that one zealot that was attacking that Nexus. But that is that Void Sliver down, and now Warzone is just going to clean up whatever's left here. Unfortunately, these Dark Templars can't really deal with the Mutalisks, and that is not too much of an issue. Now, Karax has decided to put down his first structure, and that is going to be a gateway, and there is going to be a forge as well over here for Karax. And Warzone is going to just start pushing in and just clearing out these things here. So now this area has been cleared, and Warzone can just instantly start to rally. Fortunately, no Nexus down for Warzone, but the 2 assimilators are here, and those are the most critical parts for Warzone plays. Just getting your gases up. Warzone in the later stages of the game starts to fill with a lot of resources, or at least a lot of minerals, a lot of probes as well over here, but that is again okay as long as that is saturated. Now, Karax is... what are they looking at? They are looking at the production that they are setting up here. So Karax is putting down a total of 4 gateways and 1 forge, which is interesting because there is still no cybernetics core over here. So I'm not really sure. There is a ping there. Okay, so I think Warzone has pinged that Mutalisk. Karax is not paying attention. They are looking at their base, and they have decided to put down some static defenses here. We can see that we have 3 photon cannons, 1 shield battery, and a Kaidaran monolith. The shield battery knows the position. It is being placed behind the photon cannons and not in front, as is usually recommended. And if you want, you can check out Starcraft2Coop.com's Karax page, and it'll show you the optimal position for static defense. But interestingly is that the static defense here has been put for this for the main base here and not the expansion. And now we have a Chrono Wave for Karax that has been used to produce a total of 4 Sentinels and just speed up some of the research. And still none of the research was actually completed in the process because the Chrono Boost is instead of being placed from the Nexus instead of on one of these researching structures. But now these Sentinels are going to get moving out, and they have a backup probe over here, and they are going to start pushing in. But the Sentinels do not have any upgrades, and now we have a Purifier Beam. It just seems to not be moved. Is it on auto? I think it might be on auto here. And that Purifier Beam has been used to clean up this small enemy camp instead of this large attack wave that is going to start hammering their ally, and their ally now is in a little bit of peril. But there's a time stop here, which is okay. This Dark Templar and the Shadow Guard also comes down, and the Shadow Guard unfortunately does end up getting used as an emergency thing because their ally was not providing them with any assistance. And now the Shadow Guard is going to start cleaning up a little bit of this Void Sliver. Time stop has ended though, and there is a Photon Cannon and a bunch of Overseers here. We'll focus down on these Overseers, which means these Dark Templars will consistently get revealed. But for the most part, everything else is dead. So it just has to be an attack move now onto this. And I think they will be able to clean that up. On the other hand, Karax has just put down their base over here or their expansion with a few pylons, and there is interestingly a pylon in the middle of the mineral line, or between the Nexus and the mineral line, so that is again interesting positioning here. Unfortunately, not enough damage from the Shadow Guard to take out that Void Sliver, which means that these Stalkers might actually end up getting picked off by the Zerglings over there. Actually, that guy will end up surviving, which is a little bit convenient. But now, there are a bunch of Zealots, and a bunch of Dragoons, and a High Templar, but the High Templars will not storm because they do not have the upgrade. Reasonably decent solar lances this time. These ones did not whiff and end up actually hitting their target. And now we have a few orbital strikes here. And the orbital strike ends up cleaning up the attack wave with very little assistance from Warzone. All in all, we have total units lost. We have 1 Sentinel, 1 Probe, and I think that is a Shadow Guard. I believe that is a Shadow Guard that was lost, not a Dark Templar, so that's okay. And 1 Stalker was also picked off from the Zerglings over there. And now this Void Sliver is going to end up getting picked up by Warzone. Karax is busy, and he's producing a probe right now on his expansion, and we have a bunch of Sentinels over here that seem to be wandering around and not really sure where they want to go. So what is Karax doing now? He is still looking at his base. I'm not really sure what he's doing. Okay, so he's decided to put down his cybernetics core. This is the legendary 11-minute cybernetics core timing over here, and what else is he doing? He's just looking. Okay, now he's gonna put down some more defenses here. He has to make sure that the def is strong on this map, and he is going to be defing his main base. So he has put down a Kaidaran Monolith, a Shield Battery, and now he's gonna put down some more Photon Cannons over here. As far as the Void Slivers goes, that is not Karax. That is none of Karax's concern. He doesn't really care about these Void Slivers. Let Amon do what he wants. He just needs to def, and that is what he is going to do. The other thing I also want to draw your attention to is I have added a damage counter to this observer interface. So what this does now is you can actually see the damage that is being dealt to the Void Slivers on this mission. So over here you can see that player 1 has dealt a total of 13,000 damage, and player 2 0 damage to the Void Slivers. And this is going to be a little bit important throughout the course of the mission. So we have a bunch of Sentinels here, and we now have also some def on this side, but still no upgrade for the Sentinels. He only has a Protoss Ground Weapons level 1 upgrade, and he has a Solar Efficiency level 1 upgrade as well. And Warzone now is going to start pushing into this side. Karax, on the other hand, is going to put down some more stuff. He's putting down 2 Stargates and 2 Robos and 1 Twilight Council. And I am very curious to know what build he is going to do. Those of you that do play on the random queue will probably have an idea of what his plan is, but never make assumptions, for this is Rockslapping Champions, and you will see the most meta builds, the most unorthodox builds, and the most unusual builds coming out from our Rockslapping team. So we now have Warzone going to go and engage this side. Very nice black hole here. Catches out this entire attack wave. And notice how Warzone pulls back over there to get that last Reaver into the black hole. You should always be doing this. You have plenty of time, and the Dark Templars will get their value, especially if unit is caught inside the black hole. You don't want to end up losing over here. And you can see here the Raven is starting to aggro some of Warzone's units. And this is actually why I do not like putting a Dark Pylon over my mineral line. If you have ever played with me, you'll see that I put down my Dark Pylon somewhere away so that it doesn't even cloak my Nexus. And the reason for that is because Ravens will start to come over here and they'll start to harass your mineral line and get really annoying. And this War Prism is going to go down because the pilot of this War Prism is 500 IQ and decides to go through and fly into enemy lines here. So Karax decides he wanted to try and help, but he does end up pulling back. And now Karax is joined by an army of Energizers here. And now that his army is energized, he's ready to push through. And Warzone now uses a time stop, and they end up clearing out that Void Sliver over here. Karax decides to take the opportunity to also use that time stop to get some value over here, but still, no charge and no other upgrade, what's that called, reconstruction, for this on his Sentinels. The Sentinels are going to end up getting shredded by those sieged up siege tanks. Now we have a pure fire beam. One hero Mirage jumps in here. Again, no phasing armor. And that Mirage ends up getting picked off. And that Sentinel also runs into the AoE of the Void Sliver. And now that pure fire beam is going to come up over here. His Energizers do not have Reclamation. They do not have the rapid recharging upgrade. And the Energizer are just going to try and attack and fight these Stalkers and Zealots and Zerglings. And that does not end up very well for Karax. And we can see here that player 1 has dealt a total of 22,500 damage throughout the course of the mission to these Void Slivers. So far, player 2 was not, Karax was not able to hit that Void Sliver with his army of Energizers, but he has a plan now. He's going to be producing some Immortals, and he's going to be producing some more Energizers, and now he has some more Mirages over here, and he's getting his upgrade as well for his Orbital Strikes. That Immortal now is going to go and try and solo this Void Sliver. Although he is an Immortal indeed, but unfortunately, an Immortal fails Amon's test, and that is the end of that Immortal's career as an Immortal. And now there is another attack wave that is going to be engaged by Warzone over here. We have a nice black hole on top of this attack wave. You can see how effective Warzone is at just clearing out all these attack waves. And that hybrid as well ends up doing absolutely nothing. It's one storm on Warzone's army, and that is fine. We have 4 Mirages so far. So 4 Mirages, 2 Energizers, and 6 Sentinels are already ready, and they are ready to start pushing in to the next phase of this mission. Which Void Sliver will Karax be going for? Warzone over here is just cleaning up some of the enemy defenders that were left over from that Void Sliver, because they did end up using Time Stop and sniping the Void Sliver in the process. And now we have a move out for Karax. He has a total of 4 Mirages, 2 Energizers I believe, and I think 6 Sentinels. Or no, he has 10 Sentinels actually right now. I think the other guys are still behind. Yeah, so they're still left over here. And they are just going to rally together. They are going to consult with each other as to what their strategy is going to be when they push into this Void Sliver area. And now we have also an observer for detecting the invisible Banshees that will be attacking Karax's army inevitably, but they're okay. They have everything under control. Everything has been discussed, and they're good to go now. And yeah, so we have the other guys. They're a little bit late to the party, as usual. You always have some guy that's always late, but he's brought his little buddy there, the Energizer, and I think they are very much ready to push in. And now we also have the Immortal over here, so he's going to have enough structure damage to try and take out that next Void Sliver. And Warzone has basically deleted the rest of this mission, and we basically have 2 Void Slivers left. There's another attack wave over here, which Warzone will go and engage. But Karax is looking at his base over here, and I'm not sure what he's... Okay, so he's going to use his Corona Wave now to try and get some more value. He's added 1 carrier to the mix. And again, still no unit-centric upgrades, so no Graviton Catapult upgrade, I think, for the carriers, or he still has no upgrades for his Mirages, still no upgrades for his Sentinel, and the Mirages decide to go in right now, and they do end up lifting up some of these siege tanks, which is okay, but again, they are not going to last too long. There is a Solar Lance over here to try and take out some of these units, but there is no time stop yet from Warzone because Warzone is still not in position, and Karax's army is going to start getting completely shredded again by the defenders of this area. And now we have another army of Sentinels, and one of those Sentinels does end up hitting that Void Sliver, dealing a total of 9 damage. And now there is a time stop that has come down. Unfortunately, Karax has lost pretty much all of his high value units. All his immortals have gone down. All his energizer, actually there's one energizer left. And now the two carriers are going to be joining into the fight here. These sentinels are going to be attacked by a colossus at the back here. And these sentinels are not going to last too long because there are a lot of banshees. And now we have a Death Grip Crystal over here that ends up catching out all of the interceptors from these carriers. And now it's going to be a 2-carrier versus Void Sliver army fight. And that is not going to end too well. There is a Marine over here that is still attacking some of these carriers. And again, no micro back on the carriers. Karax is looking at his expansion. And the carrier is going to end up going down. And now there is a Void Rift that is also being created. Again, no looking at the carriers over here. And then get picked off. And now there is just the lonely observer who is observing this thing. And he is also not going to last too long because there is another AoE on this side, and that ends up picking him off. And Karax is going back to the drawing board, and he is going to try and figure out what to do next. He has dealt a total of 9 damage to all the Void Slivers on this mission in total, and that is going to be a plan that he will have to come up with. So he is producing now a total of 2 carriers and 1 energizer to try and take out this final Void Sliver. And now there's an attack wave over here. We have the Oracles that are putting down some stasis wards, but I don't think they have the stasis calibration upgrade, which is somewhat unfortunate for Karax, or for Vorzun. The stasis calibration allows you to attack these units in stasis, and that is actually one of the very useful upgrades if you were going for that kind of play with the Vorzun Oracles. I used that during my, there was a mutation with Heroes from the Storm and I think Avenger on Temple of the Past. And I did that with CG, and I used these stasis calibration upgrades for the Oracles to actually stun block the heroes. It worked really, really well. This is a really nice strategy. The only other thing is he's gotten Void Stasis upgrade for the Dark Templars. I personally don't like that. I'm just using this to fill in the downtime because Karax is not really doing anything. But I generally don't get this Void Stasis upgrade. I find that the Dark Templars, it slows the Dark Templars movement down because they end up stasising the static defenses, and then you can't really take them out, and you have to go running back after this thing fades away, but it's just a matter of preference here. Now, Karax's army has decided to go out on the move. He has a bunch of sentinels, an energizer, and 2 carriers. Does he have an immortal in the mix? Oh, he does not have an immortal. He has decided that the immortals have failed, and he's very disappointed with his immortals, and therefore he will not use that. But the Sentinel has dealt 9 damage to the Void Sliver, so therefore he has put down 20 Sentinels instead. And that is going to be where the value is going to be coming up. But the Sentinels decide to just run straight into the middle of the attack wave, and they do end up getting stormed over here. But there is a black hole from Vorzun, and that black hole ends up saving a lot of the Sentinels here for Karax. But again, no... Oh, he has gotten the charge upgrade for his Sentinels now, but he doesn't have the reconstruction upgrade here. And now there is a time stop. Vorzun is going to go and try and snipe in, but these carriers are going to be chilling over here and just watching the Sentinels struggle as they fight through. But that is pretty much the last Void Sliver gone. Total of 9 damage dealt by Karax, and Karax has lost all these goodies. But those are all the Void Slivers down, and that is GG.